Today's video is a more personal one than you normally get from me, but that's because my family and thousands of other Canadian families just like mine have been personally attacked by the Prime Minister while he was in Argentina. This is my husband. He's one of the oil field men and construction workers Trudeau was referring to when he said this about them in Argentina.
You might not say, oh, what does a gender lens have to do with building this new highway or this new pipeline or something? Well, there are gender impacts. When you bring construction workers into a rural area, there are social impacts because they're mostly male construction workers. How are you adjusting and adapting to those? That's what the gender lens in GBA Plus budgeting is all about.
Now, despite what his Prime Minister has to say about him and the other men he works with to fuel the Canadian economy, my husband is a good and decent man, the best man, if you ask me, our children, and probably my mom. But he's also humble, quiet, private, and busy working. The last thing he would do is stick up for himself. He's just not that way. That little baby you see there in the picture with him, perched behind the wheel of his bed truck, is now a busy, well-rounded, nearly 13-year-old girl. We don't live in that smaller house on the smaller chunk of land anymore, and we drive better trucks now. And he's not exactly a trucker anymore, but he's gone just as much, and he works just as hard, sacrificing his time with us, working hours away for weeks on end in the heat and the cold to make sure that I am always here for our kids, that we have everything we need and some of the things we want. He dotes on our daughters, which has made them confident and resilient girls, but he still misses birthdays, Christmas concerts, anniversaries, cadet parades, girl guides, family get-togethers, and sports. So many sports. Why do I put them in so many sports? And why are they so good at stuff? Anyway, it's the sacrifice he makes every day to keep a roof over our heads and our kids on the family farm where I was raised, where my dad was raised, where my grandparents lived, because it's important to me. He's no sexual harasser. He's no danger to anything or anyone besides those deer he keeps clipping off with his truck when he's trying to get home to us after a long rig move. He's not a predator, unless you count the hours he spends hunting down a good deal on Kijiji as he tries to relax after a long day's work in his tiny room at camp. Trudeau's insinuations are lies lesser men tell about better men. It's projection of Trudeau's own inadequacies. It's not enough that Trudeau wants to phase out my husband's livelihood, but Trudeau then slandered him and men like him to the international press. And here is the thing. Our life together is not unique. In fact, it's stereotypical. It's the same experience that thousands of other oil patch families have, including my own parents, including my in-laws, those incredible people who raised this good man for me. Trudeau lives a white glove life. He clearly cannot fathom the lives of men in work gloves. I doubt he could provide for his own family on his wits and hard work alone. I mean, how well does part-time snowboard instructing pay anyway? Trudeau should thank God every single day for his Laurentian connections, liberal nepotism, and trust funds. But I suspect gratitude is not something Trudeau is all that good at. But he's not entirely alien to my husband. They do share one common trait. They've both been known to grope a journalist every now and then. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. What you just saw there is the daily video that I do here at The Rebel, but did you know that I have my own weekly full-length show? It's aptly called The Gun Show, where we talk about issues facing Canadian families in a way you won't see done in the mainstream media. But to get access to my show and the rest of our incredible premium content, treat yourself to a Rebel subscription today.